It's the 1st of April 2018 and also Easter Sunday. Welcome to News 360. We are live from the News Hub at Adesawe in Accra. I am Solis Rose-Korte.
Good evening, I'm Isa Moni. Stay with us as we bring you the headlines for this hour.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Residents of a Member of Parliament for Isnafo South, Eric Opoku, attacked and vandalized at Sankore in the Bunahafo region.
National campaign against malaria launched in the Volta region.
Also tonight, two non-governmental, or rather an international criminal court has taken custody of Mali jihadists accused of destroying ancient mausoleums in Timbuktu.
Let's now go to Mali. An international criminal court takes custody of Mali jihadists who is accused of destroying ancient mausoleums in Timbuktu. Right, we also have sports and entertainment coming up this hour. Just stay with us as we bring you the details. Now, beginning the news tonight, the residence of the Member of Parliament for Isnafo South, Eric Opoku, has allegedly come under attack by some New Patriotic Party thugs. The incident, which happened last night at Sankore, resulted in 4 cars belonging to the Member of Parliament being vandalized. Some NDC supporters who were with the Member of Parliament at the time of the attack sustained varied degree of injuries. The Member of Parliament is said was not hurt in the attack. Now, the police say they are yet to confirm the identities of the attackers. This is not the first time the Member of Parliament has been attacked. In December last year, the Member of Parliament was allegedly attacked by some MPP thugs, attracting widespread condemnation from other members of Parliament.
Right now, the Commission of Inquiry into the creation of new regions is embarking on a third and final phase of its consultations. The Commission will therefore hold public hearings in Accra from the 5th to the 10th of April 2018 at the International Conference Centre.
The Commission of Inquiry into the creation of new regions commenced work after its inauguration by the President on the 19th of October 2017. Stakeholders from the Bunahafo, Western, Volta and Northern regions presented their petitions to the Commission in Accra in camera as part of the first phase. The second phase was held in the regions from which the petitions came from. The public hearings are to afford those who are unable to appear at the regional public hearings but who still want to make submissions to the Commission an opportunity to do so. Any member of the public who wishes to do so may submit memoranda to the Commission by forwarding hard and soft copies to the Secretariat at the Osu Castle in Accra or via email commission@oop.gov.gh before the close of work Friday, April 13, 2018.
Also, the tonight, a nationwide campaign dubbed Sleep Under a Treated Net for a Good Life has been launched in the Volta region. 15.5 million treated bed nets are to be distributed across 9 regions during the campaign period. The Upper West region is exempted due to the indoor residual spraying program.
Malaria continues to afflict many, with developing countries worse affected despite interventions for decades. Although the use of treated mosquito nets remains a crucial component of the fight against malaria campaign, some people are yet to embrace it. As a result, mass distribution exercise has been initiated to encourage people to use mosquito nets.
I wish to call upon district assemblies, religious bodies, traditional leaders, NGOs, the media, parents, and the general public to support this very important campaign to save the vulnerable children in the fight and pregnant women from malaria and and also save the government from investing so much in the treatment of the disease.
In a bid to achieve universal coverage of the long-lasting insecticidal nets LLIN program, treated bed nets would be available in many households. Over 2.2 million registered people across 25 districts are expected to benefit from over 1 million treated bed nets allocated to the Volta region. The distribution process, according to the long-lasting insecticidal nets program manager, Dr. Kezia Mal, will be guided by the Ghana Health Service structures to ensure efficiency.
To sustain the gains achieved in the previous campaigns and improve areas of net utilization and retention, the program is undertaking yet another long-lasting insecticide-treated point mass distribution campaign throughout the country, starting from Volta region.
Dr. Mam appealed to community leaders to mobilize and sensitize their community members towards the ultimate goal of eliminating malaria.
And now a US-based non-governmental organization, People Investing in People Foundation, is extending its services to Ghana with a goal to end child prostitution. The foundation hopes to use science, technology and ICT education to empower the youth to overcome sexual exploitation.
The People Investing in People Foundation is committed to fighting child prostitution, child trafficking and poverty in rural Ghana. The organization focuses on the use of science, technology and ICT for people development to fight child prostitution, child sexual abuse and the trafficking of children for sexual purposes. The NGO launched its operation in Ghana at Atebubu in the Bono Ahafo region. Atebubu has been identified as a hotspot for child prostitution, leading to the high prevalence of teenage pregnancy. 1 in every 17 children in the Atebubu community is said to have been involved in child prostitution. Poverty is rife and school dropouts rate in the community remains high. Ghana has made progress in strengthening the legal framework for the protection of children. Comprehensive national laws that conform to the Convention on Rights of the Child have been developed. However, Ghana is yet to ratify the optional protocol on the sale of children, child prostitution and child pornography. The coordinator of the People Investing in People Foundation, Mohammed Sani, said the prevalence of child prostitution and child marriage within Atebubu and other communities is a cause for concern.
One of the things I want to do is the first is the awareness. These kids have to find ways to understand the reason why these things are happening. When they understand why, then it's easy to be able to identify, to be able to move forward. So we have the program in place, we have the methodology in place. The key is understanding the root cause. So we're going to spend the next year to make sure these kids understand and then identify the root cause before we move forward.
Win Belu John said the NGO is partnering with government to address problems confronting education in the country.
Now let's move away from child prostitution to underage gambling involving children as well. Some opinion leaders in Jamestown and its environs have expressed worry about the growing spate of child gambling in the area. According to them, the act is promoting delinquency among school children. Jocelyn Wood was in Jamestown and reports children as young as 8 engage in the act in the full glare of adults.
Gaming Act 2006 Act 721 prohibits persons below the age of 18 from gambling. Despite its illegality, opinion leaders in Jamestown say underage gambling is fast gaining grounds in the area. Here, operators display the machines in open places to entice children to gamble so as to make some money. Concerned parents say underage gambling exposes children to all sorts of vices and called on authorities to step up efforts to stop the menace.
Children in this area do not study because of gambling. They skip school in order to engage in the act.
Over the years, Gaming Commission has been criticized for its inability to enforce the law, as some school children spend hours gambling instead of studying. For now, the Commission must double up their efforts to create awareness on the dangers and illegality of underage gambling to safeguard the future of these vulnerable child gamblers.
Now, two non-governmental organizations have intensified campaigns to end illegal migration in Africa. More than 4,000 African migrants have died in the last 4 years attempting to cross the Mediterranean Sea to Europe.
More Africans continue to leave the continent through illegal unapproved routes to Europe in search for better living conditions, but majority of these immigrants perish in the course of their voyage, either in the Sahara Desert or on the Mediterranean Sea. An international organization for migration, IOM, study indicates that more than 22,500 migrants have died or disappeared globally since 2014, with more than half of them perishing while attempting to cross the Mediterranean. The study also indicates that during the first 5 months of 2016, 205,858 migrants reached Europe via the Mediterranean, with 2,512 dying in the process. Last year, 71,029 migrants and refugees crossed the Mediterranean to enter Europe. 1,650 died in the process. Other African migrants who attempt going to Europe through Libya are subjected to intense violence and exploitation by hardened criminals. In a bid to avert the trend, Organization for Migrants and Non-Immigrants for African Education, in collaboration with Do Good Foundation, have commenced a campaign both home and abroad to dissuade Africans from leaving the continent through hazardous routes. As part of the campaign, skills training will be offered to some youth in the country.
From our project, identification of community challenges on migration made us to, or helped us to record over 3.2 million data of unemployed youth in Ghana. To motivate the African youth not to migrate is by empowering him so that he can fit into the Ghanaian labor markets.
Kenan Rabino is a partner.
Not because the Europeans are not opening their doors, it's because first the way to get there is a very dangerous way. And when they get to the countries, not all Europeans are opening the doors, and then they are illegal, and then they have all those problems. So this is a real big issue. So first we need to tell the young people the dangers of it.
The collaborating organization will require African governments support to effectively make impact on the illegal migration.
Now let's switch into the Easter mood, and churches across the country have organized services and crusades to commemorate the resurrection of Jesus Christ on Easter Sunday. Key amongst the messages was an advice to the President of Ghana to use the resurrection of Christ to reconcile the country in order to achieve the Ghana Beyond Aid mantra.
The day was devoted to the singing of praises and songs of adoration to mark the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The day is the climax of Easter celebrations, coming after Good Friday and Palm Sunday, which marked the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ into Jerusalem. For the Assemblies of God Church, it was an opportunity for all 16 churches under the New Town Jolu district to worship together. General Secretary of the Assemblies of God, Ghana, Reverend John Garte, explained the need for Christians to mark this day.
That is the bedrock of our faith, and that is what we stand for. So on occasions like this, it is very important not only to commemorate the event, but also to convince ourselves of the truth that we have always upheld.
The same atmosphere characterized the Cedar Mountain Chapel at East Legon, also in Accra. Lead pastor, Reverend Dr. Stephen Wingham, said the resurrection of Christ should be used as a point to show appreciation to God and remind ourselves of the enormous benefit of his birth, which is relevant to the nation's socio-economic and spiritual development. He believes this is the best time to reconcile the country.
Our political ideologies have so divided as partisanship is the bane of our development. And I will urge the president, he is the father of the nation, to take the bold step and emulate the example of Pilate and Herod and unite this country immediately. Or else let's forget about Ghana beyond aid. Let's forget about all those mantras. Unity is the bedrock to achieving Ghana beyond aid.
Many Christians have over the Easter period been fasting, praying and asking for repentance and meditation on the agony and suffering of Jesus Christ on the cross and what this means for their faith. The St. Augustine Anglican Church, like all other churches, used this opportunity to dine with Christ to signify a new beginning.
If we have resurrected with Jesus Christ, it means we will live a new life. We will remove our old clothes and put on new clothes to live righteous lives that will bring glory to the Lord.
He advised the youth to use this opportunity to pray to God and make Him the center of their lives.
Still on some Easter-related stories, the director of Pentecost Men's Ministry, Apostle Emmanuel Ofe Ankra Badu, has appealed to Parliament to act with decorum and due diligence in order to ensure peace in the country. Apostle Ankra Badu urged leadership of Parliament to always engage in close dialogue and avoid media wars on national issues. He was addressing an International Pentecost Worship Center Easter Convention at Atomic Energy Commission Park here in Accra.
The Easter Convention was on the theme, "Therefore be assured of this, that God has made this Jesus whom you crucified both Lord and Messiah." The service attracted hundreds of worshippers to the Atomic Park opposite the Kwabenya police station. Various groups took turns to praise God with backing from the PIWC Tamboree. Apostle Emmanuel Ofe Ankra Badu, in his sermon, described Christian life as a journey that is determined by one's lifestyle.
It is not always that things will be the way we like. But even in those difficult situations where things are going against us, that is when God's best purpose or intentions are realized. When things are going wrong, instead of running to man, let's run to God. He has our best interest at heart.
Reacting to the ongoing Ghana-US defense agreement, Apostle Ankra Badu urged Parliament and national leadership to think Ghana first.
I will implore our leaders to make all decisions known to us so that we can make informed decisions. And then what is most important, the leadership must communicate among themselves. We shouldn't throw things out in the public for everybody just to draw his own conclusion. And we must exercise decorum. Leadership requires decorum.
He also called for dialogue and full disclosure on national issues to safeguard the future of the country.
Because noise cannot help us solve our problems. Let us sit around table and talk. Let us jojo. And I believe as we understand ourselves, we can now convince our followers to also toe the right line. Communication among leadership is key now.
Apostle Emmanuel Ofe Ankra Badu urged all to be obedient in order to transform private and national lives. And in Kumasi, almost every church the news team visited had a charged atmosphere. The congregations sang songs to praise and to thank God for the blessing bestowed on them. Head pastor at New Tafo Christ Apostolic Church, Reverend Samuel Mensah, said Ghana can develop itself with its abundant natural resources if corruption is curbed.
We should rise up and give our moral rights to the youth so that they will resist from wrongdoing.
At the Bremang Universal Gospel Center, members thanked God for allowing them to see another Easter anniversary. General Overseer Pastor Stephen Eduboahen entreated the citizenry to join hands towards building the country.
The resurrection has brought us hope, yes, but that hope must be translated into something very practical that can lead and help us to be positive in our national life and then to be positive in contributing to the national development.
Reverend Prophet James Donko of the Heaven First Ministry at Buokrum called on Ghanaians to embrace Christ and practicalize his teachings.
Now let's talk about some underprivileged people who spend hours on the streets of Accra surviving the storms of life. Some have been neglected, ostracized, and beg for alms to make ends meet. Stanley Nibleu throws a searchlight on the plight of the less privileged in Accra.
Streetism is a phenomenon that hampers the physical and psychological development of children. The growing trend has been attributed mainly to parental neglect, deviant behavior, and child abuse. At the Opebia area, Kaukudi, Tema Station, and the Accra City Hotel Enclave, it is not uncommon to find children on the street begging for alms while others engage in wiping windscreens of vehicles for pittance. Mothers, the aged, and persons with disability are not left out as they move dangerously in between street lanes begging for alms. These less privileged persons have something to smile about during Easter. Philanthropists, in the spirit of the season, provides temporary hope for the destitute.
Very bad. It's awful anyway, because you see them on the streets and like you don't even know what they eat or where they sleep. We pray that the government will take them off the street someday so that they will have a place to live.
Their gesture was in tune with the season. Headquarters at the Accra City Hotel Enclave were not left out. The beneficiaries, however, did not speak with the news team, but were excited about the gesture by the philanthropist.
You're still watching News 360. We'll be right back with some more news. Do stay. Welcome back to News 360. It's now time for us to do some mission stories. Don't forget that it's supported by Star Ghana with funding from UK Aid, Danida, and the European Union. Now, inadequate accommodation in communities in the East District of the Upper West region is a problem impeding quality education. Our teachers commute an hour a day to school. At Palahe, it takes an hour and 30 minutes to get to school.
Attention, attention, as close. Glory to the Father.
Prayers are said, instructions given, and next is to begin lessons. Infrastructure is poor. This is what the community could afford. The primary school is worse off. People sit in uncomfortable classrooms and in uncomfortable positions. They are totally disadvantaged. In this poor condition, even teachers to teach them are not available.
Every year, we do call for a PTA meeting asking for them to get us accommodation because the distance is not that short for you to be commuting. And then every year what they do is they will say is that maybe when it's the dry season, they can come together to mold bricks and then build the accommodation for us. But for the past 6 years, they have not been able to.
This could easily be one of the reasons why many classrooms are empty.
Accommodation. Most of them ride with their motorbikes from early in the morning to the community. But during rainy season, they don't go. Most of them don't go. So that's another aspect too. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. Because sometimes when it's raining, it may start raining here or it may be raining over there. And because of communication, it's very difficult to communicate.
At the junior high school level, classrooms are empty by the third year. 33 in Form 1, the number reduces to 11 in Form 3. It is same at the KG level.
Initially, when I came 2015-2016, the number was 80-something, 90. We are about 90 students. But now the number has dropped down to 67.
Teachers, the community, and the Education Directorate are working at providing accommodation. But their efforts are not enough. They can only manage mud bricks to start with. But this has been 6 years on. Bricks are molded every year, and yet they remain where they are. Teachers say the community is not supporting enough.
It has been very bad. This promise that they are even making, but I don't think it will work. Because even when we hold PTA meetings and then there is any contribution maybe given to them for the development of the school, it's difficult to get the money.
The community says it is aware of the challenge and planning to help. The District Assembly concedes resources are not there, but will support communities that initiate projects.
Any community that will initiate any project to improve upon the living standards of the community, then the Assembly will be ready to also partner with them, take part of the cost and complete it for them, as the Assembly will also initiate its own projects in addition. So if we are all doing this in that collaborative way, at the end of the day, we'll get to where we all want.
For Palahe, education is the key to creating wealth, and attention must be paid to the education of children. Bright Nanamfu, TV3.
And now to some health stories. And 2 communities in the Upper West region are battling over the siting of a CHIPS compound. This has stalled the project expected to take care of the health of the people. The district health management team is working to ensure the facility is completed.
The 2 communities are located close to each other. Residents, however, have to access healthcare about 20 minutes drive. This is because there is no facility. Efforts by the district health team has seen the construction of a health facility, a CHIPS zone. But this was not without challenges.
Initially, we had plans of creating a CHIPS zone within Pioneer electoral area. And so we met with the chiefs through our community health management committee meeting. And when we met with the chiefs, we asked them between Nyayuri and then Banamuna, which community they wanted the CHIPS zone to be created. And the chiefs decided that they wanted the CHIPS zone to be created in Nyayuri. And now we are now pleading with the communities to, gather some cement so that they can plaster the room so that we can start with the new CHIPS zone. But they said because the CHIPS zone is not created in Panamuna, they then said they would not be ready to contribute such amounts.
So the decision to locate the center in Nyayiri was not welcomed. The structure is being left standing. The district health team saw the misunderstanding. With the health of the people important and their interest key, the district health team gave in.
When the issue was put before the community members, and that include all the communities around that place, they examined it and said, no, traditionally this is how the place is supposed to be. And when they explained, I think myself and my team that went to listen to them, we cannot disagree with them because we want to work with the people. So we cannot fight with them or put in our interest.
The district health management team says all has been done and the CHIPS zone will be stationed at Nyayiri. This is to ensure full attendance when completed.
That's all for Mission for tonight, and don't forget that it is supported by Star Ghana with funding from UKAID, Danida and the European Union. Keep watching News 360 for more news updates. Over to you, Isa.
And some more stories tonight. The Ghana Standards Authority and the Consumer Protection Agency have signed a memorandum of understanding in Accra. The agreement ensures that the Ghana Standards Authority will consult the Consumer Protection Agency in all matters relating to consumer safety.
Consumer Protection Agency has for a long time been a mediator for consumer concerns and an advocate for social issues. The agency has taken its work further by entering into partnership with the Ghana Standards Authority (GSA) to allow the Consumer Protection Agency to be consulted on almost everything the GSA does. Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alexander Dudu, who signed the MOU on behalf of the authority, believes the partnership deal will protect consumers.
Our commitment to the Consumer Protection Agency is in line with the government's commitment to Ghanaians that consumers will be protected. We are going to ensure that whatever we do, the Consumer Protection Agency can have a look in to ensure that the rights of consumers are upheld and protected. Obviously, the whole nation is hoping that at some stage within this government, we will have the Consumer Protection Bill passed into an act so that consumers will be much better protected.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Consumer Protection Agency, Kofi Kapito, stressed that the Consumer Protection Agency will hold the GSA to its mandate of ensuring standard.
When you have a consumer watching your back, letting you know where you fall short, I think as an agency, it will be a plus instead of a negative. As it pertains in the rest of the world, the consumer groups are the ones that becomes more of, the media are now recognized as the fourth rim of government. The consumer too has become the watchdog.
Meanwhile, the CPA said it will hold the government to its promise to pass the consumer protection law.
13 years ago, Yoku Adinchi was diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder for years. His parents lived in self-denial, praying and hoping for a divine intervention. Eventually, his mother had to give up a lucrative job to take care of him. As Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark World Autism Day, Joycelyn Wood spent some time with Yoku and has come through with this report. The birth of a child marks a new chapter in one's life and brings much excitement to the parents. Such was Mr. and Mrs. Adenchi's experience 15 years ago. But little did they know their joy would be cut short with a life-changing experience. At age 2, Yoku was non-verbal. That was when they started seeking medical assistance. After moving from one pediatrician to the other, he was diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder, a neurological disorder that makes it difficult to interact or communicate with others.
I was in complete denial. I wouldn't agree that because I knew about autism or I had seen somebody living with autism, and so I was not ready to accept that.
According to them, raising an autistic child has been financially, mentally, and emotionally demanding.
Tough, tiring. It's a whole challenge, trying to unearth whatever talent he has. The facilities are not there. And
they also entreated parents with special needs children not to hide for fear of stigmatization, but to seek support.
Some get better. Some grow to do certain things for themselves and they become a little bit more independent. But hey, it is taxing.
The Autism Ambassadors of Ghana are optimistic the introduction of the Autism app, which provides a picture exchange communication system, an awareness platform to learn more about the disease, would promote education about autism.
Is in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 3, that is good health and well-being, number 4, which is quality education, and number 10, that is reduced inequalities.
Yoku's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Adenchi, want government to assist the few autistic centers in the country with resources to provide guidance and training for persons living with the condition.
And rehabilitation work on the liquid waste stabilization ponds at the Uti landfill site in Kumasi is progressing steadily. The project is expected to address challenges of liquid waste disposal in the city.
The project has a total cost of $750,000. The Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly is expected to raise the additional $400,000 to fully complete the project. The Water and Sanitation for Urban Poor, an NGO, has facilitated the construction of the waste stabilization ponds destroyed 4 years ago. Kumasi Metro Director of Waste Management, Prosper Kotoka, explains the importance of the project.
We are also expanding the facility to ensure that the quality of effluent that is finally discharged would meet the standard set. In terms of expansion, we are adding headworks where fecal sludge will be received from the cesspit MTS.
He said the Assembly is seeking additional funding of $405,000 for the second phase of the rehabilitation.
The chief of Domiabra in the Ashanti region, Nanakusi Boydum, has challenged traditional authorities to serve as agents of change in their areas. He encouraged chiefs to initiate development projects before seeking government support to improve the living conditions of their people.
The chief of Domiabra in the Ashanti region, Nanakusi Boydum, spoke after receiving an honorary doctorate degree for his contribution towards the development of his area. The award was conferred on him by the Confederation of Governance Assessment Institute and the Bureau of Research on Governance, Commerce and Administration of Ministry of Education, Ukraine. The award is based on exemplary leadership and the contribution of individuals towards the development of communities. Nanakusi Boydum has over the years initiated development projects in the Domiabra community in the areas of security, education and health. He has constructed roads, built a police station, a school block, library, an ICT center and community center, among others. The chief said the award will endear him to do more for his community. He tasked chiefs to prioritize the welfare of their people. President of the Confederation of Governance Assessment Institute, Dr. Edward Brenya, said the award scheme is intended to inspire people to help in community development.
We do award the Pan-African awards to individuals that have excelled in any area of their endeavor. Among the lot that was sent to the Ministry of Education, he has been named as one of the people to receive the award. So now will be monitored to see that he continues to become an ambassador of the award that is being conferred on him.
And the Electricity Company of Ghana has attributed the recent power outages in Kumasi to system failure. Officials say the company is encountering challenges at some substations within the metropolis.
Many parts of Kumasi, including industrial areas such as Swame Magazine and the Barikese Dam, which supplies water to Kumasi, have been affected by the power outages. For days, water had not flowed through taps, affecting socio-economic activities in the city. According to the ECG, the problem is as a result of system failure at Station B substation at New Plant area, which is the central station in the city. The manager of major projects of ECG Ashanti region, Frederick Kwabena Bediako, spoke about the extent of the problem.
So we are trying as much as possible to, repair the fault, one, and then also increase the capacity to Station B. And then from then we can do the distribution from Station B. As it stands now, Ghana Water is off because the power to Barikese has gone down. The alternative link between our station at C, which is the airport station, to Swame, is a very unreliable cable, which cannot support the transfer of power from the connection from Station B onto Station E.
The public relations manager Erasmus Chire Bedu is hopeful power will soon be restored to all parts of Kumasi.
This one is a major one, though, but we have pockets of faults dotted around. Some are cable faults, some are jumpers, some are trees that have fallen, some are lines that have dropped. and so many other factors.
You're on News 360 from the News Hub here in Accra. Remember, we are on channel 279 on DSTV as well. You can also follow more updates on the news on 3news.com. We'll return shortly with the latest from the world of sports.
All right, it's now time for us to do some international news. And this evening, the International Criminal Court in The Hague has taken into custody a man wanted for war crimes in Mali after the authorities there handed him over. Now, Al-Hassan Abdulaziz Mohammed headed the Islamic police in Timbuktu when it was under the control of jihadist militants 5 years ago. He's accused of victimizing women and girls by approving their forced marriages to Islamist fighters. Now, he's also alleged to have helped destroy ancient mausoleums in Timbuktu. The arrest warrant for Mr. Al-Hassan listed crimes against humanity, including torture, rape, and sexual slavery, persecution of inhabitants of Timbuktu on religious and gender grounds, and other inhumane acts.
It's time now for some entertainment news. Right, today, 1st April, is the day for real fake news, April Fool's Day. And now the day is marked by pulling pranks and spreading hoaxes on close friends, victims called April Fools. We've been finding out what is your most memorable April Fool's experience.
This is 1st April, and to many, the day is a very special one because this is the day a lot of people get pranked. And we've been finding out what are your most hilarious and interesting April Fool's Day stories.
I will be finding me that.
Now also there will be that.
But then that dear me, dear sister. Catch and say, yes, Sister Penyawo, but we're framing. Oh, we ran clinic. No, sorry, you're not framing, mommy. Enemy brothers, I'm going to intro. Oh, by your new booth, on me, Queen, both what's my entire.
I was working in a hotel at Medina Ashalbutri, and a friend of mine called me and told me, Joe, where are you? I said, oh, Charlie, me, I do work, I make busy for work. He said, you know what, you know here what they happen for your house? I said, Charlie, what they happen? He said, your mommy then your puppy, or then the fight for house where your mommy did the ground. I said, Charlie, you what did they talk? You be serious? I said, be serious, pa. So I rush for there, I go outside, Charlie. My puppy, then my mommy, then they chop fufu. They pump correct fufu people where they chop. Chop hot fufu, hot afternoon. Hot fufu, pa. Serious one.
Me get beer. My say me changing this send kagero.
Just where how many months?
Oh, get there be 5 months. If say me na me back na me come crew me crew myself. Ti me call no. Ye na mo sa na me nua ba ko be ka che me say chare get na wo hwe no aba wati wo fie o. Emrika pa na me tu ye me kodu fie no. Na gani ni wo. That is many brave. Dear me apa serious.
Me ma obi nanti e call a pass. O san ba ni nema na the boy ba boy asem.
So di bi obi da.
Me so di bi teacher ba ko.
Dey see.
Anko ma yi me di fiscal mo. O ba na me ka je say headmaster say ombra. No sir, me share nanam so what den ka be just so ba me kan to sebra adversa so ni fie kwan wa ye crossing to te kra ba kwase o fa from sa kwa na o say me fro ye no dey you proof boy bo me.
Oh, some interesting April Fool's pranks there, but let's move away from that and do some other entertainment stories. And the 2017 Ghanaian movie Keteke was admired by all, gaining positive reviews for its compelling content. Well, the film made Ghana proud at the 7th Luxor African Film Festival, winning the Special Jury Awards for Long Narrative Film. Director of Keteke, Peter Sedufia, is elated at the feat. The Luxor African Film Festival screens outstanding long and short films produced by African filmmakers. Celebrated Ghanaian production and feature-length film Keteke won the Special Jury Prize for Long Narrative Film at the 7th edition of the Luxor African Film Festival held in Egypt.
That train was for us, boy, and now we missed it.
Oh! What's that for?
How do you know you're so scared?
I'm not scared. You scared?
Are you not the one that put it here?
I did. Well, you could have resisted me if you didn't want it.
The honor is in recognition of the movie's originality and production quality. The director of the much talked about movie, Peter Sedufia, is elated at the feat.
The films that were in competition, my goodness, I didn't even think I was going to take a paper home. Like, thank you for coming, paper. I didn't even think I was going to take it home because the films were good. And if you look at the panel of judges, these are very good filmmakers. You have the director of Esparco being a jury, and so you could see how tough it was for anyone to win an award. And for me to even get this award is such an honor to me.
The proud filmmaker and graduate of the National Film and Television Institute, NAFTI, believes African filmmakers have no excuse to prove themselves if they are to catch the eyes of investors.
There's that doubt. And so once you're able to prove your worth, then those business plans that they rejected some time ago will not be accepted. We need to make film that is worth watching and that people would be satisfied about. The person that has money is also a human being. So he will also try to say, okay, what is this good thing that people are talking about? Let me look at it. And then when they look at it and they like it, they'll put their money in it. I'm just hoping for that day to come so that some of us will stop putting our personal monies into film and rather focus on being creative and churn out very good productions. And we hope that people come on board soon because, Charlie, Enyezio.
Peter Sedofia's latest production, Side Chick Gang, is currently showing at the cinemas. Side Chick Gang is a captivating film that tells the story of 3 female friends who decided to make fortunes out of exposing cheating husbands and boyfriends. Well, that's all for News 360, but before we leave, a recap of our headlines.
And the residence of Member of Parliament for Esnafo South, Eric Opoku, has been attacked and vandalized at Sankore in the Bonafo region.
A national campaign against malaria has been launched in the Volta region.
Two non-governmental organizations have embarked on a campaign to dissuade Africans from undertaking illegal migration.
And on the international front, the International Criminal Court has taken custody of Mali jihadists accused of destroying ancient mausoleums in Timbuktu. My name is Solis Rose Quarty. Many thanks for joining us. We've been live on DSTV channel 279.
I'm Issa Moni. Enjoy the rest of your evening.